Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because the Switch 2 has already been partially hacked. As you all probably know, yesterday was the Switch 2 launch day, and within a few hours, somebody on Twitter already got a hack working. As you can see right here, first userland ROP chain exploit on the Switch 2. Now, I'm not gonna pretend I know anything about hacking consoles or anything like that. The closest I got was I took some computer science classes in high school, and that was what made me realize I'm not smart enough to pursue computer science as a career. But I did do some research on this, and basically this is like the first baby step into fully hacking the Switch 2, and it happened within hours of the console coming out, which is absolutely hilarious. Nintendo made the mistake of challenging the internet. They said, alright guys, we're gonna really lock in this year. This is gonna be so much harder to hack than the Switch 1. We are the ones in control here. They were not the ones in control here. You make the internet angry enough, they can make anything happen. And more importantly, they can make it happen quickly. Especially if they hate you enough, which I would say at this point, Nintendo is probably the most hated they've ever been in their entire existence. Which is actually kind of saying a lot, because in case you didn't know, Nintendo was actually founded in 1889. It's kind of wild to think about, isn't it? But yeah, major progress towards hacking the Switch 2 completely has already been made, and I'm assuming Nintendo are crapping their pants right now. They're probably furious, but do you know who else is furious? The fanboys. Because incredibly, despite how comically evil Nintendo is, they still have people who will fight tooth and nail for them. I don't know if they're getting a check cut. Probably not, though. They probably just don't have much going on in their lives, so they sit on Twitter defending billion-dollar corporations who actively hate them. So there's gonna be two different kinds of salt in this video. There's gonna be people who, before the hack, were saying that this is impossible to hack, and they were celebrating that, and then we're gonna take a look at some people who are mad now that the console has been hacked. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this. Alrighty, starting off strong with Nintendo Prime. If you guys watch Salt content, I'm sure you know who this guy is by now. Admittedly, he takes his L's more gracefully than most people do, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen in the first place. So he tweets out this screenshot that came from a Reddit post, which claimed that Switch 2 hacking was near impossible because it would just boot loop and brick the system, which could be believable, but the more you read of the Reddit post, the less it makes sense, and also there's no sources cited, so not really the most trustworthy thing in my opinion. But yeah, Nintendo Prime says, if true, Nintendo took it very serious to make Nintendo Switch 2 extremely hard to hack. It's going to be many years before this gets cracked. At least 2, maybe longer. Game leaks online via game dumps is going to be a long ways off. IMHO, this is good news for general consumers. It will be hacked one day, but Nintendo went all out so far to make it very difficult to do. See, none of this is really bad, except for the part where he says this is good for general consumers. How is the console not being hackable, at least for a long time, good for general consumers? Because of leaks? My brother in Christ, leaks and rumors happen regardless of whether a console gets hacked or not. And what are people gonna leak? The next Pokemon? Mario Odyssey 2? Breath of the Wild 3? Saying a console not being able to be hacked is good for general consumers because of leaks of all things? Come on, I feel like we're kind of reaching here. You're acting like industry insiders don't exist who constantly leak stuff and suggest new games that are coming out. Then again, his name is quite literally Nintendo Prime, so I don't know what I was expecting. Anyway, next tweet. This guy quote tweeted the original tweet about the Switch 2 being hacked and says, day one, people are trying to pretend it's hackable with the objective to scam people. It's actually hilarious. But it's not a scam. They're not pretending. It literally happened. You quote tweeted a tweet that literally includes a video showing that they got external code to run on the Switch. The only one who is pretending here is you. And how exactly is it a scam when these people said themselves, when somebody asked them, can we give you money for this? They said, we never ask for money on console modding. So what's the scam here? They're not taking people's money. They have video video proof of it working. What is the scam? Your tweet calling this a scam is more of a scam. And above all else, why are you so in denial over the Switch getting hacked? Like, why does it bother you so much? If you're not interested in this stuff, then it shouldn't concern you. Just go play Mario Kart and have a good time. Don't worry about what other people are doing with their Switches that they bought. But wait, there's more, because this guy then posts, give it a few days and the countless of people posting tips and tricks to hack your Switch 2 is gonna end up bricking so many consoles. Well, again, the full hack has not happened yet. People aren't completely into the system, which is probably the one thing Nintendo Prime got right, honestly, is that it probably will take a little while for it to be fully hacked. The first Switch took, what, like a year or so? The PS5 took like 2 years. So we'll see, but it will happen eventually. But does this guy not realize that the whole reason this is taking a while is because people are trying to figure out how to hack it without bricking the system? Like, that is literally the whole point of this entire thing that's been going around recently. Nintendo challenged the internet said challenge accepted. All right, now the next few replies we're gonna take a look at come from this post. Nintendo took hack protection seriously with the Switch 2. I'm sure it will happen eventually, but it sounds like it will take a very long time. And then again, post the screenshot of that Reddit post. Now, there was one guy in particular who seemed very enthusiastic about this happening, and he got rightfully roasted. So we're gonna take a look at that. So this guy replies with just a GIF that says good. You know, what a great thing, guys, that the Switch 2 can't be hacked. This definitely benefits this guy in any way whatsoever. Definitely not a fanboy. Which again, I don't understand. Like, why is this good to you? It reminds me of the people who actively celebrate games being exclusive to one platform, especially third-party games. Like, why are you celebrating this? If you're on PS5 and Sony pays to only have a game go to PS5, but it was going to come to PS5 regardless, and now it's just locked out of other platforms, you shouldn't celebrate that. If you feel indifferent towards it, that's one thing, but celebrating it is cringe. Don't do that. But yeah, somebody just replied and said bootlicker, and then he replied saying, oh, sorry, I thought we were still pretending piracy wasn't theft. My bad. And then the guy who roasted him replied again and said, theft requires the extraction of value from another party. It means that when you take it, they no longer have it. Nintendo still has its software and the rights to it. Piracy is not theft. It is copyright infringement at most. Then the original guy says, ah, the classic, it's not theft, it's just unauthorized duplication defense. If someone can access a game without paying and Nintendo intended to sell it, then the value is lost. Calling it copyright infringement doesn't suddenly make it noble. And then I have no idea what the rest said, so we're just gonna move on. The guy says, get away from the multi-million-dollar company looking ass. And then he replies again saying, wild how don't take what isn't yours becomes controversial just because the person who owns it is successful. You good? And there's more to it, but we're gonna stop there because I actually want to say my piece on this. Let me put it this way. I'm not gonna use the whole it's not theft, it's copyright infringement argument or whatever. I'm gonna say this. I'm sure you all have heard it before, but if buying isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. Nintendo has done everything possible with the Switch 2 to screw you with DRM and make sure you don't actually own your games. Piracy is the only true form of ownership in this day and age, and pirating from a company like Nintendo is absolutely morally correct. And I don't know why you are so butthurt over the fact that people are doing it. Again, just be indifferent about it. Like, why are you actively cheering for Nintendo, saying it's a good thing that the console's hard to hack? If other people pirate games, that doesn't affect you, so why are you jumping to their defense? And then this guy tries to defend himself by saying, oh, well, I guess don't take what isn't yours becomes controversial when the person who owns it is successful. Buddy, it's a billion-dollar corporation who doesn't give a damn about you. And like the guy said before, they're not even stealing anything physical. You can't run out of digital copies of a game. And don't try to use the argument that they lost out on a sale, because most people who pirate games were never going to buy the game in the first place, so it's not like they're missing out on money. Like me, for example, I will never buy a Switch 2. I will never buy a copy of Mario Kart World. I would happily pirate the game on my Steam Deck, though, and play it there, but that's because I was never gonna buy it, because I cannot stand Nintendo and their practices. They lost out on my money the second they became extremely anti-consumer. It's like what the great Gabe Newell said, piracy is primarily a service issue rather than a pricing one. In this case, it's both, because I also don't want to pay $80 for a game, but you get the point. And then another person replies with the classic screenshot, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. And then the original guy replies, you do you, I just said good, and now I'm apparently the villain in your fanfic. My brother in Christ, you said good to people not being able to hack a console. How else are people supposed to take that? Like, be honest with yourself, are you not defending the multi-billion-dollar company? Your original tweet was you sticking up for them, so I don't know what to tell you, man. And then finally, we've got this one to end the video off. What's the obsession with hacking the Switch? Why can't people be happy with the end product? I'm gonna put this as bluntly as possible. It's because the end product is bad. Besides, once people buy it, they're allowed to do whatever they want with it. Nintendo can try to control it all they want, but if people just want to hack their Switches to make it more customizable, put more games on it, emulate stuff on it, that is completely within their right. They own the hardware. They can do with it what they want. And why should people be happy with a system that is charging $80 for games and literally locks physical hardware features behind a paywall? Like, you can't use the game chat button unless you're paying a subscription. Why exactly would people be happy about that? Please explain it to me. This is the same kind of argument that the people who are against mods make. Oh, why can't you just be happy with the end product? Maybe people are happy with the end product, but they want more from it. And so they want to modify and customize it in a way which is beneficial for them, but doesn't harm anybody else. I feel like this goes for a lot of things in life, but as long as it's not affecting you, why does it matter to you? The point is, don't defend billion-dollar corporations, especially Nintendo. They really don't deserve it. And yeah, guys, with all that said, that's all I got for this video. I'm sorry if this felt a little rushed, but to be honest, it kind of was. Not because I wanted to get the video out super quickly, although after seeing the views Gara got, I definitely do. But I'm leaving in a few hours for a family vacation over the weekend, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stream the Xbox Game Showcase. But I will be back on Sunday, and I will return to making content on Monday. And as long as the Xbox Showcase is good and the Switch 2 salt keeps up, there's going to be plenty of content to talk about. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, and every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for gaming streams on the second channel. And I will catch you all next time.